When Erich Fromm spoke about the ways people try to escape the anxiety of freedom, most people think immediately about authoritarianism, conformity, or destructiveness. But there's another escape, one he only touches on, but which is incredibly important for understanding modern life: the escape into triviality. What does this mean? For Fromm, freedom is a heavy burden. To truly live authentically means facing the anxiety of being alone, of being responsible for your choices, and of confronting the deep questions of life and death. Most people don't want to face that kind of intensity. So, instead of confronting their own freedom, they run away into distractions, into the world of the trivial. Fromm noticed that modern society makes this easy. Instead of dictators or obvious oppressors, our age offers endless amusements. The rise of consumerism, advertising, television, and later the internet, these all provide a perfect outlet for avoiding depth. You don't have to wrestle with who you are or what your life means if you can spend your days scrolling, shopping, or filling your mind with gossip and entertainment. This isn't just about wasting time. For Fromm, it's a profound psychological defense. Triviality acts like an anesthetic. Just as some people use alcohol or drugs to numb their inner conflicts, modern man uses trivia. Every news cycle, every celebrity scandal, every endless stream of memes, these aren't just harmless distractions. They are psychological strategies to keep us from asking, "Am I really living the life I want?" Fromm would say, in triviality, we escape from the unbearable weight of existence into the shallow waters of endless novelty. The self feels busy, occupied, engaged, but in reality it's being hollowed out. The tragic part is that the person who lives like this often believes they're happy. They laugh at shows, keep up with trends, and talk about the latest viral event. But deep down, their individuality is untouched. Their freedom is never really claimed. To see how this works, think about silence. Silence is terrifying for many people because it leaves them alone with their thoughts. It opens the door to big questions. Who am I? What am I doing with my life? What really matters to me? Instead of sitting with those questions, we drown them out with noise. We put on music, we scroll endlessly, we fill every empty second with something trivial. For Fromm, this was a tragedy. Human beings have the capacity for depth, for love, creativity, and meaning. But when we spend our lives lost in distractions, those capacities wither. It's not that people can't be deep, it's that they never give themselves the chance. Fromm argued that triviality can be more dangerous than outright oppression. When a dictator crushes freedom, the violence is visible. People resist, they notice, they fight back. But when freedom is lost to triviality, no one notices. The chains are made of laughter, gossip, and endless entertainment. People can live their whole lives never realizing that they never truly lived. This is why he insisted that triviality is not neutral, it's corrosive. It erodes the human spirit. It makes us passive, dependent, shallow. And in that passivity, we lose the very thing that makes us human, our capacity to stand up, to choose, to love, to create. Think of it like a slow spiritual suffocation. No one notices at first. After all, what's wrong with entertainment, with small talk, with passing time? But when life becomes nothing but trivia, then freedom is gone. And unlike political oppression, this form of escape can go unnoticed for a lifetime. People can die never realizing that they never truly lived. Fromm's warning was clear. The danger of triviality isn't that it kills the body, it's that it kills the soul. If part 1 explained what Fromm meant by escape into triviality, part 2 is about the consequences and why he thought it was one of the great dangers of modern society. Fromm saw that the escape into triviality wasn't just an individual weakness, but a collective way of life. Entire cultures are built around the normalization of distraction. The media machine pumps out endless amusement. Advertising industries condition us to keep chasing the next novelty, and social conventions quietly reward people who keep up with trends while ignoring the deeper questions of existence. For Fromm, this trivialization of life leads directly into what he called the pathology of normalcy. Most people appear normal, smiling, working, socializing, talking about the weather, politics, sports, and television. But beneath this surface normality lies emptiness. People are healthy in the medical sense, but spiritually malnourished. They are adapted to a society that itself is deeply sick. What does that sickness look like? Fromm described it in several ways. First, it is a culture obsessed with having rather than being. Success is measured by what you own, not who you are. In such a world, triviality becomes a survival tool. If meaning is shallow, then people cling to shallow distractions. Second, it is a culture afraid of silence. To be quiet is to risk confronting the void, the questions that consumer society cannot answer. Third, it is a culture addicted to constant stimulation where boredom feels unbearable, because boredom threatens to open the door to deeper reflection. This state has serious consequences. Fromm argued that living in triviality weakens the capacity for love. Real love requires attention, presence, and vulnerability. But if the mind is constantly scattered, bouncing from one shallow distraction to another, there's little room left for genuine intimacy. Relationships themselves risk becoming trivialized, reduced to surface interactions, convenience, or entertainment, rather than profound connections between souls. Triviality also undermines creativity. Creativity, as Fromm understood it, requires stillness, reflection, and the courage to sit with uncertainty. The artist, the thinker, the inventor, all must pass through silence and struggle. But in a trivialized society, silence is filled with noise, and struggle is avoided. Instead of creating, people consume. Instead of exploring, they distract themselves. Perhaps the darkest consequence is how triviality makes people more vulnerable to manipulation. When individuals are numbed by distractions, they lose the habit of critical thinking. They become passive spectators, accepting whatever the media, corporations, or political leaders feed them. For Fromm, this is not freedom at all. It is a subtle form of control. The old dictators used fear and violence. Modern systems can use pleasure and trivia. In both cases, individuality is erased, but in the latter case, people don't even notice. Their chains are comfortable. Fromm warned that this form of escape is harder to resist than open oppression. If a tyrant cracks down on you, you can at least see the enemy. But when life is filled with distractions, there is no obvious oppressor, only a slow dissolving of depth into surface, meaning into entertainment, freedom into trivial busyness. It's a form of self-imprisonment, maintained not by force, but by endless seduction. Yet Fromm wasn't fatalistic. He believed the human capacity for awakening is always present. The escape into triviality is strong, but it can be broken if we dare to face the anxiety of freedom. He argued that we must relearn the art of being present, of embracing silence, of asking the questions that triviality pushes away. Who am I? What do I truly want from life? What matters beyond comfort and distraction? His solution wasn't to reject joy or play. Fromm was not against laughter, relaxation, or entertainment. What he warned against was living in those states permanently, mistaking distraction for life itself. Joy, when it comes from love, creativity, and growth, is profound. Trivial amusements, when used occasionally, can refresh the spirit. But when they dominate existence, they hollow out the human being. Fromm urged us to choose depth, to resist the flood of triviality and reclaim the serious art of living. This means turning off the noise and rediscovering silence. It means valuing dialogue over gossip, wisdom over trivia, being over having. It means daring to live authentically, even if it brings anxiety, because only in facing freedom directly can we grow into full human beings. In the end, Fromm's message about triviality is both a warning and an invitation. The warning is clear. If we drown in distractions, we will lose ourselves. The invitation is brighter. If we resist, if we choose depth, then life becomes not an escape, but an adventure. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.